It's a beautiful afternoon up here in Kos. Fast, flat ground. You watch the Sharks come out and put it on early in the first 20.
The Titans bottom of the ladder right now, so can they get a morale boosting victory here? There is the 22-year-old skipper, played 60, nearly 46 minutes in fact last week, 167 metres, 3 line breaks and a couple of tries. Outstanding against the Rabbitohs.
Well, I'll tell you what, he does need a little bit of a help too from the Titans forward pack. Someone has to get in and around him. There's no shirking his job every week, week in and week out. He's their best player. A couple other blokes have to put their hand up and give him a bit of a hand here this afternoon.
And there is Marju. He's done that in 10 games, so he's missed a few, and yet he's third behind a couple of Roosters for tackle busts. He's so hard to contain.
Well, you got to have a good kick chase on him here this afternoon. What an effort for a side coming last and a bloke to break 71 tackles, as you mentioned, with only 10 games. Here come the Sharkies.
Led out by Wade Graham, and right behind him, the birthday boy, Nicho Hynes, 26 today. 50th game for him in the NRL. Congratulations to the young man who might just sneak his way into that blue squad block.
And what a find he has been for the Sharkies. Normally played fullback down there in the Melbourne Storm. Come up and just took the bull by the horns for the Sharks this season. They look a lot better side when he's running fast and flat at the line. Creates plenty of opportunities. And I reckon they'll be itching to get going here, the Sharks.
And sealed the win on the Gold Coast with a late field goal when these two teams squared off in round 11. There is Ronaldo Mulatalo, who leads the comp in line breaks. These wingers have been in outstanding try-scoring form as well. Katoa on the other side.
Stay on side.
Referee Chris Sutton gives us the all clear as the kickoff tumbles its way down. The sun a bit of an issue as well. Sat up well enough for Katoa out there on the right wing for the Sharks. Slow play the ball first up. And there's Nakora. Cronulla 1 win out of the top 4 right now. Number 1 in the comp for line breaks and tackle busts. And there's Rudolph, backslammed as the Titans make an early statement. And here's Hunt. Up over the 40-metre line he goes. There's Cam McInnes. And a solid start here from the Sharkies. Good quick play the ball for Hynes to go high with the first kick of the afternoon. And a great take in the end as they targeted that man Marju, who looks pretty safe under the high ball and gets plenty of them.
Yeah, it was a good set there to start the game. Quick play the ball, as you said, from McInnes. And just gave him a little bit of extra time there, Nicho Hynes. The kick downfield was a good take at the back for the Titans.
Bit of a local flavour today. Some of these players with plenty of family and friends in the house to support, including Brian Kelly, born in Lismore, raised in Ballina. And Tolman coming off the bench later from Hat Head, population just over 300, just an hour or so down the road. Here's Sexton, who did all the kicking last week. His halves partner, Turner, didn't put the ball on his boot at all as Mulatalo brings it back.
And you saw the pressure there put on by Wade Graham. Sexton, the one and only kicker last week for the Titans. Wade Graham just doing those little 1%ers. I know it's only early in the game, but that's what he does well.
No way through for Kennedy, who's slowed down by Aaron Clark. There is the skipper, Wade Graham. 223rd game for the Sharks today, which has him right up there on the all-time list for Cronulla. Equal 4th now with Mitch Healy. Moylan playing each and every game this season for the Sharks. This time taken by the fullback. It's a welcome back to AJ Brimson today, and it's a big welcome to Jimmy Hooper sideline.
Afternoon, everybody. How good are these scenes? Rugby League on the New South Wales mid-north coast. We've got the full house sign up at the moment. There are 9,000 fans at Coffs Harbour International Stadium. And the Sharkies, they've been up here all week spreading the gospel, and they're looking to go back-to-back for the first time since round 5.
Yeah, had the win at Redcliffe against the Warriors last week and just made the trip down the coast. Plenty of clinics with the locals. Great rugby league town, Coffs Harbour as well. Pass out in front of Herbert. There's a rare kicking option, and Sexton was chasing back inside, called out of it as Hines made the safe take and wants to get expansive potentially, forced to accept the tackle.
Well, that's good signs there for the Gold Coast Titans with AJ Brimson. A couple of touches in that set, just hovering around the middle of the ruck. Just hope he continues that for the full 80 minutes.
Kennedy proving elusive, gone around Herbert. Taken down by Clark in the end. Here's Katoa, and stepped around one, busted a tackle. And that was an important covering tackle from Isaac Liu. Otherwise, the speedster was into open territory. And they're looking a little ominous here, the Sharks, but the ball jolted loose. Nakora lost it, and that's a big play by Fermor.
He just couldn't get to the end of that set that time, the Sharkies, after a nice break right through the middle. You asked the question, where was the support? I think that surprised everyone, that break, but they're 40 metres out now, the Titans.
And the front rowers combine. Wallace onto Liu. Sexton now. Fasua Mala'awi, the decoy. Fermor stepped through one tackle, again looking for support. And the knock-on is the call, a very near thing for the Titans.
Yeah, good break there by Fermor. Should have been a little bit closer support there. Looked like he wanted to offload the ball. Got good footwork. Just have a look how far away the support was. Just getting his arms free enough. Back-to-back errors from both sides. The Sharks just hang on.
Confidence levels low for the Gold Coast. Lost 9 of their past 10 since a 2-2 start to the campaign. Only win since round 4 came against the Dragons. That was in round 10.
Yeah, it's a confidence game, isn't it, rugby league? If the Titans get on the scoreboard first, there's Talakai with a good, strong run. Quick play the ball. Second effort there by the Titans. But they need that confidence. They need to get on that scoreboard early.
The take from Talakai was pretty useful as well. Wasn't the best service for the rampaging setter. Another knock on. Cronulla cough it up inside their own half, and Fitzgibbon won't be happy with the last couple of sets coming to an abrupt end.
It was interesting listening to him talk before the game. He doesn't want to take their attacking ability and the way that they throw the ball around, but in your own half, can't afford to throw those sort of passes. And that's a second error in a row. That's just inviting the Titans back into the game again. After one tackle, they'll be 40 metres out.
There is Dale Finucane. Been out since Magic Round, missed 3 games in total with that knee concern, and of course concussion has been an issue for him as well in the last 12 months. There is Turner, just his 5th game of NRL, the former Warrior, 2nd game as a Titan. Here's Big Tino and the welcoming committee led by Hunt. Liu now throwing dummies with Wallace outside of him. Great field position for the Titans here to go to work. Inside the 20 goes Wallace. Pass hits the deck. Herbert tidies up, but they're on the back foot now as Talakai got to him. Sexton forced to go to ground. So the number 7 out of play here on the last. And Turner, first kick as a Titan. Up goes Katoa.
Now, if we get to see the replay of that, the referee had marked the 10 metres, and you could see straight away that the Titans jumped in front of him at least a metre, just trying to get off their line to put some pressure on the Sharks. Had him pinned on their line. Just watch him jump in front of him here. There's the bomb anyway. The take by Katoa. But it's the next ruck. When they line up, they all jump in front of the referee here. What's this? Bang. Look, it's got no option.
And when the captain complained, the referee said to Tino, it wasn't only you. There was a whole lot of you. Back on the angle went Rudolph. Hines trying to put him through a hole after a decent touch finder from the Cronulla halfback. Hunt holds on here. First opportunity for the Sharks, who are well supported here in Coffs Harbour. Moylan out the back for Kennedy. Early service for Talakai. And the contact was good from Asako coming in off the wing. Centre field for Brayley, and Hunt, second settler on this set. Hines ready to go back to the open side. Here he goes to work Moylan. Kennedy once more. Big chance brewing on the outside, but Osako off his wing twice to save the day and creates the error. The winger came up big.
Yeah, if you come in and make that tackle, had he been able to get the ball on the outside there, Kennedy, it would have been a try. Osako makes the tackle, makes the decision, ball and all. That's the way to make those tackles. Not go in too low around the hips so he can get the ball away. Ball and all, up the top, under it. And that forces the error. Geez, they've made some errors. The Sharks to start this game. That's their third in a row. They can't complete at the moment.
Number one in the comp for line break assists, Will Kennedy, and normally pulls the right rein, but they came up empty there, the Sharkies. Hard yards. Well, Marju popped it out the back into the in goal it goes, and there's a line dropout coming up. That was a little too adventurous, 10 out from his own line.
Yeah, Marju, I think the message will go out from the coach, Justin Holbrook. Just tuck the ball under your arm, son, and charge it when you're coming off your own line like that. And they were aware of it too, the Sharks, straight away. They mauled him at the back there. And there's another opportunity here, straight away. For the Sharks, have already made a number of breaks, but it's the errors that really cost them, haven't been able to complete.
All the way back inside the 30 after an ordinary looking dropout came from Brimson. Hunt's work rate has been busy. Pops it out the back, referee gives that the all clear. McInnes right up the middle, he only knows one way. Sets the tone for Cronulla here to go to work off the back of it, right under the black dot. And desperation from the Titans, 4 involved in the tackle to hold him up.
He's not a bad bloke to run up over, straight after the play the ball. McInnes, it was, as you said, straight through the middle. And then they all got on board. I think it was Rudolph that got tackled under the post, has to play it 10 metres out. Here they come.
Hines. Tapped on by Kennedy. Katoa's got another one. How good was that from the fullback? The only option he had was to tip it on, and the deft touch made it easy for Sione Katoa, who's got 11 tries now in 2022.
Well, he's such a player. He's the most improved player nearly in the competition, William Kennedy. Watch this tap on here. Hines out the back. The little tap on, did it on purpose too. Wonderful skill. Katoa still had plenty of work to do. Comes in off his right foot and slams the footy down. It's exactly what they needed to open the scoring, the Sharks. They'll be pretty confident of scoring plenty of points here this afternoon. A little right foot step back inside. They can't make the tackle. And the Sharks, so good on attack. You can put that down to Kennedy.
We see plenty of tap-ons, but very rarely is it a cutout tap-on. It went outside of Ramian and straight to the winger, who's now scored 6 in his past 5 games and will go into international camp with Tonga to take on New Zealand in rep round with real confidence.
If you think about it, it's the first time that the Sharks have been down there and really completed. They've made 3 errors to start this game. And that is a sure sign that the Titans have got to defend a lot better than that. They got down there, the tap on, beautiful stuff. Katoa, haven't they got some finishes in their side? I mentioned their outside backs, how big and strong they are, the Sharks. Katoa gets the first try.
3 from 8 last week with the boot for Nico Hines, and the birthday boys' radar is off early on. 4-0 to the Sharks. Jimmy Hooper.
The Sharks so dangerous on both edges, Speedy. It's Sione Katoa who scores the try on the right wing. But what about the beautiful silky one-handed bat-on from this man, William Kennedy? He currently leads the NRL in terms of line break assists. He is so dangerous when his side has the football. A really strong start from Cronulla off the back of 3 errors early in the game.
It was a little clunky out on the left-hand side early on, but out on that right-hand side, it was poetry in motion for Cronulla. High kickoff here, down towards the try scorer, off the long run. Here comes Royce. And the Titans there in good numbers to slow him down. Sharks looking to push for that all-important top 4 finish. Inconsistent in recent times. Loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. The last 8 rounds.
And still running 5th.
With that 8-5 record. Inside the 40 goes Brayley. Brimson perfectly positioned. Takes it on the full. And it's great to have this guy back for the Gold Coast.
He didn't really get the angle on the kick there, Brayley, out of dummy half. They've got some options with their kicking game, haven't they? Already used 3 kickers at the end of sets, the Sharks.
Brimson a late withdrawal last week due to COVID issues. Missed that South Sydney game. Jaden Campbell still out long term with a hamstring. They haven't got their first choice spine. The struggling Titans. He's giving Turner an opportunity, throws the dummy, and it opened up big time, but it opened up a little too easily. There was a clear obstruction.
It's not a bad place to get a penalty too, right in the halfway line. The Sharks will go straight away in the attack. I thought it was a little bit easy the way that he skipped through there, Turner. Let's have a look at the obstruction there. You're running into the line. Rudolph it was who was impeded. And Hines, I thought he might have went for it a little bit further there. They're 48, they're 40 metres out now on the attack, the Sharks.
Yeah, his last touch finder he picked up about 30 metres. This one happy to pick up 10 and let this set build from 40 out. Really slow play the ball. He was about to blow the whistle for presumably a penalty, the referee, but he said, let's just keep on going. It's early in the count. Moylan pops it out the back for Graham. Some second phase stuff for the Sharks. Setting up for a play on that right-hand side again. And Hunt sets them up. 5 metres out. Hines now goes to the left-hand side. Number 7 has it. Moylan. Oh, it's opened up for Matty Moylan. Playing each and every week for the Cronulla Sharks. 31 on Thursday. And still going strong is Matty.
Well, just have a look how the Titans came up defensively here. They invited him to cut back on the inside. Have a look where they're all looking. On the outside, Moylan throws the dummy. Look where their eyes are. That's poor defence there from the Titans. At least if you get up in their faces, you can't backpedal on your line like that. He notices it straight away. He's a clever player, Matt Moylan. Just does it all himself. Off the left foot. Sexton can't go with him. They didn't close the gate back on the inside. And Moylan gets their second.
So the Titans defence offering up the late birthday present to Matty Moylan. That birthday's right across the club since they set foot in Coffs Harbour. Moylan 31 on Thursday. Nico Hines the birthday today. Tracy had a birthday yesterday. And they're feeling pretty good about themselves. Last week they were down to 2 early tries in the opening 15 minutes or so. This time Fitzgibbon's side has the start he was after. An easier look for Hines to try and convert this one. Starts it a long way outside, bent it back in time, and it's 10-0 to Cronulla.
Matty Moylan winding the clock back there to when he was at the Penrith Panthers playing fullback. Bang, off the left foot, and he's too big and too strong for the Gold Coast Titans defence. A hot start from the Sharks off the back of 3 errors. The Gold Coast, they need to find some sort of response.
It's game number 161 today, Block, for a 31-year-old, so he's had his injury concerns along the journey, but we saw him just before the players came out of the sheds, and he looks so fit.
He's in good nick, isn't he?
Yeah.
Obviously had a huge off-season from all reports and playing some good footy. He's a wonderful foil for Nicholas Hines.
Ball pops out the back, and Kennedy was ready and waiting. Hunt's already run for 50+ metres. There's Ramian going to work. 3 in to stop him. And they are rolling. McInnes ran into a shoulder. Good hit by Wallace. But again, the quick play the ball, as is the trademark of McInnes. And we saw how much of a success Reuben Cotter was for Queensland in Origin. McInnes could almost be New South Wales' version of Cotter, who won't play in game 2.
Well, the good thing is he can play a number of positions. Here's Hunt again. Gee, he's had a strong start to the game.
It takes him up over 70 metres run. And now Moylan to hang it up towards Mulatalo to go airborne. He might have knocked it on. Doesn't matter now as Sexton tidies up.
I was just watching Wallace in the back play too. He must have got a little bit of a stinger. Well, we said McInnes runs the ball so hard. Got him from an outside-in hit. And was left laying on the ground, but he's still out there.
So the advantage after the knock-on was to take that play the ball 10 out. Wallace looks like he's able to shake that one off. Do your best with that. Marju, and he keeps on going. Determined stuff from the winger playing game number 19 in the NRL. Out of the line trying to hit Asua Malaawi. Was Ramian. Came up with nothing. Short side. Brimson played it beautifully, opened up this hole. There's a chance on the outside. Fermor throws the dummy. I don't need the outside men, says Bo Fermor. And the Gold Coast Titans, out of nowhere, had their first points.
Yeah, it's a great try, isn't it? We see Brimson come into the play. Have a look at how short the Sharks are on the short side here. They're not numbering up. There's not enough numbers there for them. Have a look at that. There's only 2 there, straight through. Brimson draws and pass. Fermor throws a dummy. Got good leg speed to get over the ground. They can't match it with him. Scores right next to the posts. They're caught for numbers here. Straight through Fermor. Throws the dummy. He's in 2 minds there, William Kennedy. Whether they go for the intercept or make the tackle. Fermor sprints away to score.
What do you think of the option? Fullback, should he put the shoulder in on Fermor, or are you happy for him to go for the intercept there against a much bigger man?
Yeah, I suppose he just went for it. What he thought was right there. It happened so quickly. I think the coach might say, mate, hit the man with the ball. If that was me, I'd be saying, you know, try and hit him ball and all so he can't get the ball away, but don't go for the intercept or the knockdown. Fermor did well to throw the dummy and score. He's already made a break a little bit earlier here. You know, and he went through over there again on that left-hand side. Couldn't get the ball away. He's a class player.
Debuted against Cronulla back in 2020. Now has 11 tries in 37 games on the edge. Bo Fermor. Straightforward look for Jermaine Asako, the former Bronco. Slots it over and tightens things up on that scoreboard midway through the first half. 10 points to 6, and it's game on now, Block.
Yeah, it was good play there, just to strike back after they went back-to-back here. The Sharks, look at that gap straight through. Gee, look good in the clear, but as I said, William Kennedy got himself in between the players and just invited Fermor to throw the dummy, and they're happy about that. Good hit back there from the Titans. That might give them a little bit of confidence.
Beautiful playing surface here. There's 4 local rugby league clubs: Coffs Harbour Comets, the Sawtell Panthers, the Arara Valley Axemen, and the Woolgoolga Seahorses, but they don't play at this venue, so it's kept in reserve for these big occasions, and it's like carpet out there, and the players are relishing the opportunity. Now the flare, the offload for Brimson inside the 10. They've already paid the price for that kind of offload before, but this one came off.
I think you've got to be alert when you're around the ball. When Wallace has got the football, he's going to try and do something and offload the ball. Lucky it went to Brimson there. Let's see if their spirits picked up a little bit now. The Titans up. They've scored their first try. Have a look at this. They've got to complete this set here.
Clark out of dummy half, picks up about 5 or 6 metres, gets the quick play the ball. Liu up over halfway, so it's been a decent set off the back of their first points, and now Sexton to put the bow on it. Kicks it inside the 10. Brought back by Mulatalo. And Block, if you grew up in this area, I think you'd want to line up for the Axemen, wouldn't you?
I think that'd be the only team, wouldn't it?
Sammy Burgess coaching at that club.
Beautiful part of the world, isn't it?
Wonderful day today in mid-June. Tempting to have a bit of a paddle at the beach here in Coffs. Tolman out there now. And Nico Hines saw some space. Brimson across. And gets away from that sideline. Trademark stuff from Ramian. He goes for those big shots. They can get away from him. All above board there. And Hines did well to turn him around. And there's a few Titans with hands on hips right now, Block.
Yeah, and they win the penalty too, which helps. Is that a second tackle penalty? Gives you a little bit of energy too, rather trying to get behind that ball. You get another 30 or 40 seconds. The game stops for the penalty and then the kick for touch. So you get that little bit of a breather. Pretty quick sort of open game of footy so far.
Justin Holbrook's side has some momentum now. Thanks to this guy. Fasuamala-Awi. Decent one-on-one tackle by McInnes. Didn't get much of a hand at all from Rudolph alongside. Don't forget, this is game one of a triple header on your Super Saturday. The Warriors against the Panthers and then the Eels against the Roosters a little later on. Great action coming your way. First Redcliffe and then back to Sydney. Knocked out one-on-one by Moylan. Is it enough to prompt a set restart? They're going to say that's a knock-on. And the captain's challenge could be brewing here.
Well, looks like they are going to challenge it here. The Titans, the ball, as you said, was knocked out.
Okay, Shorty. Mate, we've got a captain's challenge from the Titans on the decision of knock-on.
Titans will win this.
Definitely.
That's right, mate.
Knocked on.
We might have had a better angle than the referee did to adjudicate on this one. Looks like Moylan just pokes it straight back out the back of Brimson. It's not like a loose carrier that rebounds into Moylan.
He's definitely out of strike of the ball or knocks the ball out.
Titans here.
Yeah. They'll win that challenge there.
Matt Moylan has stripped the ball out one-on-one, knocking the ball on towards the opponent's goal line. AJ Brimson then gains possession back. The challenge is successful.
So got 0.
And the set will restart.
Yep.
You can tell how confident they are when they make that decision. Brimson, he ran straight up to the ref and said that ball was knocked out and knocked back by Moylan. So that's a good win there for the Titans.
Should just be a play the ball and let's restart the tackle count with Brimson playing it.
Yep, here we go.
Situation where the touchy had the same angle we did and he could have communicated to the ref and we could have got on with things.
Tell you what, they've invited the Titans in this first half into a fair bit of field position. Liu has been good through the middle. Big Tino. So they're making the yards in the middle they need to. Just need a bit of spark on the outside.
Brimson to Turner. And Kelly ran into a roadblock. Ramey and ready and waiting. Good physicality from Jesse. Now Fasuamala-Awi trying to run right over the top of Brayley, who makes his fair share of tackles, as all the number 9s do, right across the comp. Liu almost thought he was the decoy, and then the ball came his way from Clark. So just a settler from the former Rooster. Sexton to Turner. Lovely ball on the outside and crashing his way over is Marju. How confident does he look? The try is given.
Gee, we talk about a tackle buster. What about a finish here from Marju? He gets over the stripe here. Good power. I don't think anyone would have stopped him here. Watch how he runs onto the ball. I'm saying they need a little bit of spark out wide, and here it is. He's played well, Turner. That was a beautiful pass, but Katoa, a noted defender, just didn't get all of him there. Just bounced away. And there's the try. Back-to-back tries now for the Titans.
What about the footwork and control here from Marju? Twinkle-toed to keep them in and then put it down. Does the bunker weigh in their block, or are you happy with the way he's put that down?
I'm pretty happy with what I've seen there. It's a great effort. As I said, Katoa is no slouch hitting blokes front on. And the Titans, it's all the mistakes that the Sharks have made in their own half, just turning the ball over. They've done it a number of times in the first half here. And that was well set up. Geez, not a bad player, Turner, going at the line. He's made a break already. He's read the short side a couple of times. And this time he digs into the line with a pass over the top. Marju gets the try.
Yeah, they've been watching him tear it up for Tweed in the Q Cup. And they thought last week he just played within himself. He was a bit scared perhaps to showcase what he could do on the NRL stage, but they thought he'd come out of his shell today, and we're certainly seeing that from Paul Turner. Asako has taken it back 25 metres to open up the angle, but will not add two more, and suddenly it's all locked up at 10 apiece.
And Cronulla coach Craig Fitzgibbon has reacted immediately to the Gold Coast posting back-to-back tries. His co-captain, Dal Finucane, it's his first match back since Magic Round. He had the MCL injury. He's also had concussion issues. Straight into the game, and Toby Rudolph gets a rest.
And on the injury front, the Titans hopeful that David Fafita will be back next week. Sam McIntyre has been filling up his position on the right edge. Great to have Finucane back for the Sharks, who's chasing this one with purpose. Looking to get involved in the tackle straight away.
Craig Fitzgibbon might have thought they lacked a little bit of urgency in the middle with their defence. Just watch the line speed of Finucane. He'll certainly get them up and going after back-to-back tries from the Titans.
Got the bumper bar up there. Fasua Mala'awi, and managed to get the offload away after the contact came from Finucane. Playing with some confidence here, the Gold Coast. Here is McIntyre. Still a couple more plays and they're up towards halfway. Fodawaker, handy weapon off the bench. Origin player who'll line up for Tonga next week. A few players will play in that Tonga v New Zealand encounter that'll be must watch on Fox League. Kennedy didn't get there, tapped back by the Titans. Almost thrown forward to Sexton, and he came from an offside position.
Toby was in front of the kick chase.
That was Sexton, who wasn't allowed to get involved in the play. The pass came his way and the referee was right on top of it.
Yeah, they've got a couple of relieving ones, haven't they, the Sharks, after we see the Titans start to build a little bit of momentum. They give away the penalty there, and look at that for distance. That's a great kick.
And struggling to set their line before Cronulla had the tap and went through Ramian. Tolman moving it on to Finucane, a couple of former Storm players in the Cronulla setup now. Hines, Moylan. Had options on the outside, tried to put Graham through that hole. Set restart. Talakai trying to crash over them. Didn't go to Mulatalo on the outside. So the left side hasn't exactly clicked for Cronulla yet. Talakai and Mulatalo, who can do so much damage. And now McInnes inside the 10. All the players out there on the right-hand side now. Hines again. The crash ball was the option and Nakora lost it. The Titans defence holds up.
Now have a look at that tackle there by Turner. Got his body in front. Courageous stuff there from the 5'8". He's played well here this afternoon so far. Both sides of the ball. Not only does he tack, but his defence front on. Look at this. Whack. That's a good one-on-one tackle there.
Clark proving evasive. Oh, Fasua Mala'awi taken down by McInnes, down low. They're a different size, the two number 13s, but textbook stuff from McInnes. It takes some bravery to make a tackle like that on Big Tino. Turner playing with flair. Had a look at Tino again. He burrows his way about 25 metres out. Now Lasoni with fresh legs. Bench is being utilised big time in Coffs Harbour in this first half. Sexton, late decision to kick, and it's led to a big chance here. Oh, he turned the wrong way. He could have put Ramian into space. Nico Hines ran away from the flying centre.
Well, you just wonder how much noise he was making, Ramian. Hines cleaned up there. That was a poor kick. They've got to get a result out of their kicking game, the Titans. Been in good areas, but just it was a sloppy kick off the side of the boot. And there's another good run.
Sexton spat out the back as he ran into the bumper bar of Mulatalo. Tolman backing his way into Titans territory. Finucane for Hines. Nakora passed it forward almost deliberately so. He stopped. The call of forward came from the Titans and not the touchy, who was right in line with it.
Yeah, I can't believe that. Don't really have that much to do these days, the touchies.
Goodness me, it was such an obvious forward pass. The take from Asako at speed. He's having some kind of game. The defence and now the take. The corporate types here in Coffs Harbour would have had a good view of that forward pass that the officials missed. Although they are looking to the sun. Under the marquees on the far side. Solid contact as Tolman was there to meet Fodawaker, who takes some stopping. Fasua Mala'awi, hasn't this game changed in the last 15 minutes or so? Now the offload for Clark to go to work. He'll play it on the last. What can Sexton do this time? Well, they won't go to him. In fact, it's Turner's chance to look for Sexton back inboard. And it took a nice Sharks bounce for Moylan. Chase was good, though.
Yeah, he got himself back there, Moylan. He reads the play so well. There's a knock-on. Talking about inviting the opposition into the game. 10-all at the moment.
Careful, boys. Fasua Mala'awi and Mulatalo talking it over with some push and shove.
You only have to worry about getting your jumper crumbled these days. Don't have to worry about anything else. And here's a chance for the Titans. 8.5 minutes to go before half-time.
Let's look at involve something like that, because you actually lose the challenge time with them.
You just heard the voice of the referee, Chris Sutton, talking to Mulatalo, saying all that nonsense took away the time for you to maybe have a captain's challenge, because there's an argument to say it might have led to a penalty there. Fasua Mala'awi might have just knocked that out of Mulatalo's grasp illegally, but he gets away with it. And the Titans have the chance to take the lead here, closing in on half-time.
A good place to attack from too, 10 metres out, right under the post in the middle of the field. See what a trick play if they've got one now, the Titans.
Brimson's already created one try. He feeds the scrum, wraps around, receives from Clark, and his outside men weren't ready in the position he wanted. Lasoni the decoy. Fasua Mala'awi a double last week. And Cronulla knew where that was headed. Fodawaker for Sexton. Early ball for Kelly. And the Northern Rivers boy taken down. Marju. Already a spectacular put down. Trying to crash his way through. Ball of muscle. And now Clark, a dart from dummy half. Bodies underneath, and I think they've held up the Kiwi.
He just tried to wrestle himself free there.
Sexton to go crossfield. Chasers getting there in time. Fasuamala, oh, he dropped it. Had a shot at it. And it should be a 7-tackle set coming up.
We've got knock-on Titans from Tino going to the 20.
Fasuamala Awi was the first at the ball there. Had a bit of a clean jump. No obstruction there from the Sharks. Just knocks the ball forward. They get an easy walk to the 20.
So 10 apiece here. Lights turned on. We don't need them yet in Coffs Harbour. Game 1 of 3 on your Super Saturday. Off to Redcliffe next. Warriors v Panthers. And then the Eels against the Roosters to close it out.
7 errors from the Sharks in the first half, as opposed to 2 from the Titans. Just haven't controlled the ball well enough, have they, the Sharks? They've shown when they get down there they can score, but it's around about the halfway line. They've lost possession a number of times in this first half.
Now a chance to create inside the 30. Hines has found Ramian a couple of times on this set after missing him earlier on. With that chance to maybe go 70 or 80. Number 7 goes to work again. Mulatalo against Asako, who's got his measure at the moment.
Yeah, great take above the head there. He's been safe here this afternoon. He might be better off kicking over the other side where the sun would be in the eyes of the opposition. A little bit shady over this side.
Tackle number 23 for Brayley in this first half showing. Marju being slowed down by Tolman. Tanner Boyd out there now for the Gold Coast. Played it quickly enough. Ball holding up. Sexton's kick taken safely on the full by Kennedy. Important little phase here before half-time. The Titans have fought their way back from 10-0 down. Now they're opened up by Kennedy. Confronts the opposing fullback. Picks up Mulatalo, who was on the wrong foot and stumbled, and Tino dragged him down.
What about a chase from Tino?
Could have gone to the bin, according to the Sharks fans here, making their voices heard, but the advantage might accrue to Cronulla anyway. Hines in search of that try on his 26th birthday. Back to the left-hand side. Kennedy, who started it all with that incredible break up near halfway. Numbers brewing on this left-hand side. Moreland's going to have a double in the first half through the dummy to no one in particular, and the Titans bought it. It's 14-10 Cronulla, well, or is it?
It looked like he took him on there, Moylan, after he saw big Tino with the big chase there. They've got no try.
On the outside.
And they reloaded and went straight at him again. He would have been tired after that long run to make the tackle. Just having a look at an obstruction in there. Well, I don't think it impedes really anybody, but at the letter of the law, I don't think it'll be a try.
Obstruction in the play.
Alan Shortall, the man back in the bunker.
A couple of players get a shot on Moylan here. There we are, running into the line like that. You can't go into the line and then stop.
Sam McIntyre pushes off away game. Graham, we're playing off to this point.
Ooh.
So they've cleared the Graham contact. What happens here with Teague Wilton? Has he affected Herbert's ability to get involved?
Teague Wilton gets in front of the ball and prevents Patrick Herbert from
Might be
making
a try.
A
See, Wilton, had he kept running through instead of stopping in the line like that, it probably would have been a try.
It remains 10-all. Moylan denied his double.
Obstruction here, guys. So it's on Teague, mate. He's outside the ball, but he obstructs Pat Herbert.
Back to 10, guys.
And they're lucky to get away with that because two players had an opportunity to make a tackle there on Moylan and they both missed.
What about how long Fa'asuamaleaui made the try saver but then held on? It used to be an automatic sin bin, that kind of thing, but it's not happening seemingly last couple of weeks. And the fans expect it. You could tell by their reaction. They're thinking that sin bin. And here's another chance for Cronulla, though. Mistake comes from the Titans inside their own half.
Well, Finucane it is just trying to lift his team here with a good front-on hit. And they're opting to go to the middle of the field to pack the scrum. Gee, both sides handling in a beautiful afternoon like this has been pretty ordinary. 10 errors already in the first half combined.
Yeah.
Craig Fitzgibbon will be talking about being beaten in the middle a little bit here this afternoon in the first half. They've been able to play the ball pretty quickly, the Titans.
That was a dog's breakfast.
The scrum breaks, mate. That's the problem.
Cronulla held the ball in and created the havoc. No touch finder required, according to Nico Hines. Just taps it and goes. Fa'asuamaleaui trying to wrestle that ball away. Graham goes up the middle. Sharks were targeting right up the middle early on. Finucane ran into McIntyre. Couple of minutes before half-time. Sharks want that lead back. Hines to Kennedy, taps it on again. Ramian flicks it on the outside, knock on Katoa. He was waiting, he was in space, get me the ball, but in the end, not the service he was after.
Yeah, again, it was Kennedy with the tap on, but Katoa just couldn't bend down and pick up the ball that close to the ground. Ramian with the flick out the back. At full speed, it was a difficult one to take. The Titans hang on.
There was the chance for Ramian to pass conventionally a little earlier, perhaps, for Katoa. They let one slip there, the Sharks. Completion rate in the mid-60s for Cronulla. In perfect playing conditions. And might get a mention in the halftime chat from Craig Fitzgibbon. Vonnie and the boys will break it all down in a few moments' time on Fox League as well. One last chance being created here as Cronulla look to pack their side of the scrum as soon as possible.
Yeah, some more physical stuff in the middle of the field here from the Sharks. Last couple of times the Titans have had the ball, they haven't been able to complete. For nice front-on defence there. The ball comes loose. Their turn to put a trick play on now. The Sharks, I reckon they'll come up with something here.
And froze the clock with 50 seconds to go. And get through almost the full set in that time. 1 point might come into the thought process if they can't break them down on the first 3 or 4 plays here, as Hines is taken down on play 1. Tolman right up the middle, only knows one way. Moylan waits on that right-hand side. Comes back to Graham, early kick, ricochets, and it's still alive for Cronulla. That's some pluck by Wilton. Herbert trying to reef it clear would lead to a penalty and a gift 2 points before the break. Now in search of 4. Brilliant work by Hines. Early service, Ramian for the corner. The Titans get there in cover. One last play. Left-hand side with their hands up saying go crossfield. They try to crash their way through. And the Titans hold up defensively. So many good signs for the Gold Coast. 10-0 down early. They've levelled it up. And the defensive stand to close out the first 40. They're excited about what might happen in the second 40 here in Coffs Harbour. It's 10-all at the break. And Tino Fa'asuamaleaui, we just watched him in the dressing room at half-time block. He was giving this team a rev up.
Yeah, for such a young player, and he's only been the captain this season, he's been outstanding. But this kid, think that when he runs at the line, he set up the first try there for the Titans. The beautiful pass over the top. I love it when he digs into the line. Relatively inexperienced, but he's going to get better and better. He's been better in this game. They've put themselves in a position now, the Titans. Can they go on with it in the second half?
The Sharks looking to extend their winning streak over the Titans to 8 in a row. Had plenty of chances, and Matt Moylan nearly had a double in that first half.
Yeah, he played well, didn't he, Matt Moylan? Just his options and knowing when to run. Very good with the ball. A little bit unfortunate he hasn't got 2 tries in this game of footy, but 4 tackle breaks. He's got a great awareness of when to run. He'll have a big second half, I'm sure of it, for the Sharks if they are to get home.
So the Titans, just 1 win in their last 10 games. Short trip for them. Down from the Gold Coast to Coffs Harbour. And they leave with the competition points and the big upset. Bottom of the ladder as it stands. And they'll get the ball first here. Strong return by Lasoni. Turned his back into the advancing Sharks. And here is Fasul Mala'awi. Origin teams to be named on Sunday and Monday. Tino will be in that Queensland lineup again. Who's going to sneak into the New South Wales team after being knocked off in game 1? Maybe Nicho Hynes, who gets involved down low here. Boyd into dummy half. Turner. Here comes Brimson. This time the Sharks have the numbers, and they complain about a high shot from Nakora. Pressure on the Sexton kick as Ramian got to him. Makes for an easy take for Kennedy.
It was an interesting start here from the Sharks in the first half, where they got away to a 10-0 lead and just relaxed a bit. You've got to get started and get going early in this game. You can't just all of a sudden turn it on after, I would say, the back end of that first half was pretty poor there from the Sharks. Just thought it was all going to happen for them.
He's got a shot at Braden Trindle, waiting in the wings for his first action. Approaching the midpoint of this second half, perhaps. He might get injected by Craig Fitzgibbon. Tolman. If you've tuned in late, he's one of the locals. Grew up just down the road at Hat Head, about an hour or so south of here. Brimson is all energy in that fullback role. Marju trying to bust some more tackles. Awkward looking play the ball. Referee gave that the all clear. Sako played it quickly enough. Head rock back. The mullet was flowing for Tino. Strong running by Fermor, but Cronulla making their tackles stick in this set. Bit more room for Sexton. Straight down to Kennedy, able to stay grounded again. So just set for set here at the start of the second 40 as we check in with Jimmy Hooper.
Yeah, Gold Coast coach Justin Holbrook wants his team to keep taking risks and go after the game in this second half. And for the Cronulla Sharks, way too many errors. They made 10 in the opening half. They've got to tidy those up and hold the football, Brenton.
Yeah, very safe sets to start. As the completion rate got a mention in both dressing rooms, perhaps. Moylan hunting around the middle. The Titans did not open up. Now Hynes might keep it in the hands here. Saw an opportunity as the Titans backed off. He's back inboard as well, Hynes. And the kick in behind. Well read by Sexton, who brings it off his own try line. No, he doesn't. Drag back in goal. Referee gets down and says that's forced in goal. And they get a repeat set out of that. Heads up, eyes up footy from Nicho Hynes.
Yeah, and it's also a great tackle from Jesse Ramian. to force Sexton back in the in-goal area. They just allowed him to run, got the ball back on the inside, then puts the boot to ball. Look at the clean-up. He should just straighten straight up. Look at this tackle. Great strength shown by Ramian. And there's the first chance of the second half here for the Sharks.
We hear people talk about eyes up footy for the halves around the competition, and Nicho Hynes put it on full display there.
Sexton tried to beat him on the outside there. He should have just found the ground. Trying to straighten up, he would have got himself back in the field of play.
Moylan waits left, Hynes on the right. It goes to Moylan through a hole, and the step, and the support. What a take from Brayley! Off the pass from Teague Wilton, and the repeat set turns into 4 points for Cronulla. Ball handling wizardry from the Sharks.
Yeah, gee, hit the ball at pace, didn't he? Moylan with a nice soft hands. Wilton it is, straight through. Beautiful footwork, but look at this young fella. Underrated player, not by the Sharks. Blake Brayley gets over. The first real chance that they've had in the second half. When we saw Sexton couldn't get back in the field of play after Hynes kicked the ball through. They got the line drop out. Look at that for a little bit of footwork from a big man. And great support play there from the young fella through the middle. Sharks score the first second half try.
Into double figures now in his career. Game number 73 for Blake Brayley. Still just 23 years young. And that pass was behind the number 9. He dragged it in and just kept on rolling. That was very impressive. There was a hand in there from the Titans as well that could have distracted him.
It's amazing how just little things change the game. As I said, with Sexton getting back in the field of play.
But also this guy creating a kick that put Sexton under pressure after keeping the ball in the hands initially. And now to cap it all off, Hynes adds 2 more, and the Sharks have a 6-point buffer.
Yeah, the Cronulla Sharks edge in front there through that man, the Aquinas Colts junior, Blake Brayley. You can see on the replay here, Nicho Hynes with that little chip kick, and Toby Sexton. This was a defensive play that forced the dropout to allow Matt Moylan, who is having a superb season, played every game for the Cronulla Sharks, took a hefty pay cut to remain in the black, white and blue this season. But what a year and what a response it has been from Matt Moylan, and that man, Blake Brayley, he sends Cronulla Sharks to a 6-point lead.
Hearing anything, Hoops, about a 1 or 2 year extension potentially for Moylan?
It's on the cards, Speedy. It's on the cards if he keeps playing like this.
Moylan looking so sharp and so fit. Just great for rugby league fans, especially those of the Sharks. Try scorer Brayley plays it, and here's Ramian, and they're up really early here, the Titans, so everything going Cronulla's way to start the second half.
Gee, it's a good penalty to get to after you've scored a try to open the score in the second half. Didn't really have to complete. They're up over the halfway line already. They've been dangerous when they've been 40, 30 metres out. They love to play a bit of footy now, the Sharks. Let's hope they got a fair rev up at half-time at 10-all. They could go back-to-back again here like they started the first half.
Well, Graham was just chatting to Moylan and receives from his 5'8" there. Graham dragged his man back in, McIntyre trying to milk one. Oh, through a hole, Nakora able to hold on as Turner got his hands around the footy as well. Brayley scheming. Moylan didn't release the pass. Now he does, and left behind by Hynes, and knock on. Here's the call.
He just tried to dig into the line. If you have a look at the defence of the Titans, got up on the outside of Moylan, made him cut back inside. A bad bounce there for Nicho Hynes. And another error here again from the Sharkies.
Club that has played finals 8 of the past 10 years. Cronulla on track to be there at the business end of the season again. And can the Titans bounce back like they did in the opening half? Really slow play the ball. As a result, there's not a whole lot of room for Jamin Jolliffe, hoping to play for Ireland at this year's World Cup.
Forward!
Forward was the big shout from the touchy. We're right in line with that. It was marginal.
Sure that was a touchy or someone in the crowd.
Oh, that angle looks pretty damning. And the work from Tanner Boyd as Lasoni overran him. That's got to be a tough watch for Justin Holbrook. He's got a 22-37 record as a Titans coach now, 0-4 against Cronulla.
The other thing too, when you've got blokes coming onto the ball at that sort of speed, you've got to pass the ball from the ground. Tanner Boyd not that used to playing a dummy half.
Hines off the scrum, linked up with Ramian, and good awareness by Marju to make the immediate tackle. Looking really dangerous here, Cronulla, though. In search of try number 4 this afternoon. Moylan, quick hands, and cutting back on the angle was Teague Wilton. There was space for the outside men. Tolman. Taken down one-on-one by Jolliffe. Wasn't a whole lot brewing around Tolman. Now Hines for Moylan, assessing the options. Pass hits the deck, runaway try potential. Foot race. And Asako taken down by Mulatalo.
Just a little bit off with their passing, aren't they, the Sharks here this afternoon? Second tackle, they're up around the halfway line now, the Titans. You see him get in that attacking zone.
It's almost too many options for Matt Moylan on the outside, and couldn't link up with any of the outside men. Jolliffe off the long run. That time they link up. Tanner Boyd and Lasoni, and Sexton runs into Teague Wilton. Number 7 looking for a signature moment. Now Brimson. Kick doesn't travel a whole lot forward, but he's made it work here. Kelly, has he? Flicks it out the back. It's still alive on the final play here. Fotuaika with the kick. And looks almost useful. Trying to chase his own effort. Does he keep the licence blocker? Was the kick decent enough?
NKA.
Never kick again. And they lead the comp for kicks not giving up a 20-metre restart. So that's a rare one for the Titans, and it came from Mo Fotuaika. He's probably thinking, why aren't you kicking at Sexton, who gave the pass to Fotuaika?
Right, it's a good skill if you can do it. Not if you're kicking the ball dead in goal like that.
Just got unlucky block, I thought. Could have sat up for the same price. Might have turned himself into a halfback. Moylan. Trying to get his edge back rower through that hole more often than not. All the way through for Wilton. They go that same side again, and the creativity is there from the Sharks. Asako's defensive afternoon has been outstanding. Still alive here for Talakai. Getting rid of one. And again, Asako involved.
Okay, guys, we have to stop. The HIA assessment happening here. Tackle 4.
And Lasoni about to depart after this, and the elbow cracked into the top of the head there. Incidental contact between him and Finucane, spotted by the bunker. So Isaac Liu replaces Lasoni. Jimmy Hooper will have an update on that one in the next 15 minutes. Whether Lasoni will be able to return. Moylan for Hines, runners in motion. Kennedy, early ball for Katoa. He'll play it on the last. Hines to go crossfield. Oh, what kind of kick is that? Set up okay for the Titans. A nice bounce for Asako.
Gee, that was a strange kick, wasn't it? I don't know what he was trying to achieve there. Nico Hines.
He was looking for the old Cooper Cronk kick and it came off a bit gnarly. Beautiful looking touch finder from the Gold Coast. Down towards halfway. Game still in the balance. Titans hanging in there.
Yeah, I think it's the errors from the Sharks that have kept the Titans in it anyway. Only one try to start this second half so far. And they've looked dangerous, the Sharks.
It's Trindle time. Turner.
Ooh.
Hospital pass for the fullback. Talakai lined up Brimson. No thoughts of a kick this time from Fotuaika. Turner, he is on kicking duty. Down towards the fullback. Pressure this time. He's still able to stay grounded though. Kennedy is a cool cat at the back.
Yeah, the real good players have got time, haven't they? Kennedy's one of those. You generally see in the defences coming at you that sort of rate of knots. They leave the ground and try and take the ball in the air on the full. But as you said, he just stood his ground. It was a great take.
Trindle immediately involved. Rudolph back out there for his second stint. After just 6 hit-ups in his first stanza. Brimson, a bit of a hop and a skip and struggling to get back here, the Titans. There's only one man getting there, Sexton, who looks to Marju and says, are you ready? No one else is.
6 blokes not even behind the ball yet. All in the defensive line. That should be a penalty. Look, they're just standing there.
They were lining up like they were Cronulla defenders, 3 of them. Tanner Boyd, Fotuaika and Jamin Jolliffe all standing there to make it a defensive line of 16 effectively for their team to look at. With Kennedy back in the fullback role already. Fermor, strong running. Sexton, what can he come up with this time? Kicking to that same spot more often than not. And Kennedy able to bring it back towards that 20-metre line.
I think they were blowing up there too. I think it was Ramian that tried to make the tackle on Sexton there. He got knocked on the ground a little bit late. But no penalty.
How good is that Tonga v New Zealand test match going to be next week in rep round?
You see the Tongan team?
There's a few out there. Talakai, Katoa, Fotuaika. Andrew Fafita laid out today. He's part of that extended squad as well. A few Kiwis out there as well. Clark, Liu, Mulatalo and Nakora all called up by New Zealand. There is Andrew Fafita and no David Fafita for the Gold Coast Titans, hopefully back next week. When they take on the Knights in Newcastle, then they've got the bye. Nice link up between Liu and Fotuaika, touched by a Shark. So they get the set restart there, the Gold Coast, and now they should be able to get into scoring territory with a fresh set up their sleeve. Jolliffe lands on his front, looking for that quick play of the ball. Sexton, runners in motion. Brimson, little no-looker for Fermor. Ball comes loose again. He had 2 errors in the first half, Beau Fermor, as well as the try, and there's another one. It's the second time the ball's seemingly come out when he's just hit the ground.
Yeah, that ball control's not there this afternoon, especially in the second half. Gee, they made some errors to start this second half. They look very flat, the Titans. And there's a perfect example. Starting to get very tired around the middle. Brayley's starting to expose that. Takes him 3 or 4 tackles to get behind the ball.
And now, relatively late in the count, the penalty. 25 metres out. It's a 6-point lead at the moment. Nicho Hynes, it's the right side for him to maybe make it an 8-point lead here.
Well, I reckon the Titans are looking very tired. I'd keep the pressure on here. I'm going to go for the 2, are they? See, I don't know about that. I generally do what the opposition, they'd want you to have the shot at goal here. Because they're out in their feet, the Titans.
Yeah, lazy high shot from Jolliffe led to the penalty. And the signal went up from the sideline that Craig Fitzgibbon wants them to go for 2 here. Nicho Hynes has been going at 70% throughout his career. Up over 100 career goals now in game number 50 today. He's got the commemorative jumper at the CEX Coffs International Stadium. Hosted City Country in years gone by. Coffs Harbour was the hub for New South Wales to prepare for Origin games as well. Great sporting facilities in this part of the world. And Cronulla fans can ride this one home. Tends to hook them, Hynes. Starts it on that right-hand upright, makes no mistake, and they do have that 8-point lead now, the Sharkies.
We've got all your rugby league covered here on Super Saturday, and don't miss coming up next weekend. The Ampol State of Origin Series returns to Western Australia, Game 2 of the 2022 series. Witness do or die footy in Perth, Sunday the 26th of June at Optus Stadium. Tickets are available from just $49. There's never been a better time to head west and experience Australia's greatest sporting rivalry live. Head to nrl.com/tickets to secure your seat today.
And watch that man in action. Tino Fa'asuamaleaui. Block, are you going cross-country this time?
I'm still waiting for the call-up. I've got the fingers crossed.
If you're listening, Steve Blocker-Roach ready to head west.
I live in hope.
We were both there a couple of years back when Tommy Turbo pulled off that amazing try off the high kick. $18 points to 10. It was a game of 2 halves in the first half. The Titans worked their way back into it from a 10-point deficit. Can they make up the ground here? Trindle in that dummy half roll.
I reckon this is perfectly suited for Brayley to start opening up the Titans around the middle. He's already scored that try a little bit earlier in the second half.
Finds Hynes here. That touchline looms large. He may have been able to put a foot into touch and create the out on the full, but Marju elected for the safe take. Brian Kelly admitting this week that he hasn't been in the best of form, hoping that a chance to catch up with family and friends might spark him into action here. Herbert yet to score a try this season. The other centre. Boyd goes to that right-hand side for Sexton. Good purchase on the kick. Dumped after getting it away. And this time Katoa camped underneath it. Talakai, strong, purposeful running.
So good for your forwards too to have a bloke like that, Talakai, at the back end of the field. Take those sort of runs, give yourself a little bit of a breather. Powerful runner.
Debuted against the Titans as a 19-year-old in 2016 as a South Sydney player. Reinvented at Cronulla. Kicking to Marju's wing again. He's such a powerful ball runner if you give him play too, so they tend to kick it to him. Greg Marju, and this time the penalty they've been baying for is on offer.
Just a discipline thing now from the Sharks. They've got all the field position, all the ball in the second half, but just giving away simple penalties like that early in tackle counts just gives the Titans another piggyback upfield.
Tap being taken right in front of Jimmy Hooper. There's a bit going on the sideline, Hoops. We'll get to Jimmy Hooper a little later on. And another penalty, back to back. And they just tap it and go. Brimson.
Carbon copy of the first half, isn't it?
They've been piggybacked down there. What can they do with the good ball here? Boyd wants quicker play the balls. Jolliffe might be able to give him what he's after here. They go right-hand side. Brimson. Herbert nowhere to go. And they've chewed up 4 tackles. Boyd at first receiver. Fasuamala back on the angle, targeting Brayley. Support there from McInnes.
Tell you what, he fell awkwardly too. It's like an ankle injury.
Oh, lovely hands. Brilliant stuff. Almost wrong-footed, Kennedy. And he plucked it first time, and Fasuamala limps his way back into the defensive line as Queensland fans hold their breath. And the coach, Billy Slater, as well.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to run it out too. Big Tino. Doesn't look too good out there.
Playing through the pain barrier. Here comes Talakai. Fasuamala involved in that tackle. A bit part player in company with Fodawaker. Moylan tried to give it everything, tried to give it hang time. Sarko done a great job matching up against this Mulatalo today. Marju just bumped away Trindle, who came again. He's run that one off already, Tino. Moving okay now.
He's run for 150 metres. Tremendous effort in a side that's getting beat.
This one floating a little. Oh, it almost got away late on Mulatalo, who made it look pretty comfortable in the end. It was far from that.
Just hit a little bit of a flat spot in the game, hasn't it? Just needs someone to take control here. It'll be a Kennedy or a Hines or a Moylan.
Yeah, you feel like Cronulla's got more strike, more ability to do that, but who's going to do it for the Gold Coast Titans? Young Sexton, just game number 19 for the 21-year-old with that 7 on his back, and Turner's been a little quiet in the last 20 minutes or so. There's 2 halves, inexperience for the Gold Coast. Look at Moylan, what a ball on the outside. Sarko gets there again on Mulatalo to slow him down. Finished off by Herbert. Moylan on kicking duty. Kelly. Slipped through that first tackle. Brian Kelly, here he goes. It's a great kick return. You don't see the centre too often camped underneath it, but he was ready and waiting and gave them some impetus here.
You just need that one try, don't they? You need to see a little bit more of Brimson. I know we're putting a little bit of pressure on him, but he looks like the man most likely for the Titans. Just got to get in that field position down the other end. I mean, battling to get up over the halfway line.
So Turner's been taken off here, the starting number 6, and Tanner Boyd now assumes that role. He's a natural half, came into the comp as a half rather than a backup dummy half. Brimson chasing this kick from Sexton. Oh, Kennedy, little bobble. He was in the field of play when he took it, has to get back in and does to avoid the line dropout just.
Gee, that was brilliant play too, to get back in that field of play from Kennedy. And we got caught in the in-goal there, the ball on the full and forced back in the in-goal area. Would have been a line dropout.
But they're only 10 out here. That's 3 tackles made, so the Titans have a chance to gain great field position here.
With Talakai.
What a run. Still going, and the Coffs Harbour crowd gets involved, cheering on that effort. The other centre off the back of it, Ramey, and out towards the 40-metre line. Now the interference in the play, the ball, and the discipline from the Gold Coast Titans lets them down again on the final play. Can you believe it? Justin Holbrook, a penny for your thoughts.
Well, as you said, late in the tackle count, Personius is involved.
Okay, Shorty. Hey, we've got a challenge from the Titans on the decision of a breakdown play the ball second effort.
Yeah, well, Ramian's trying to play the ball, and Fermor just pushes him, and you just can't do that.
Yeah,
it's an obvious penalty.
They're all over him. You've got to clear the ruck here.
Three involved in the tackle. Held. Tackle over. Trying to find an out for the Gold Coast Titans here if there's a little fumble, but there's nothing of the sort from Ramian. So if we roll on here...
Looking to determine, is that a foul play by Cronulla in the play?
He threw his elbow up there, or was it an accident here?
Surely there's nothing in that, is there, Block?
No, well, I think in the action of trying to get up to play the ball, I don't think...
Jesse Ramey makes contact on 2 occasions
deliberate.
with the head of Bo Firma. The challenge is successful.
Wow.
It's an accident, isn't it?
I don't think so. I think he's deliberately done it, but you see that sort of thing would be let go more often than not, but because it went under the video bunker microscope, it's going to be a penalty going the way of Gold Coast.
Greg, just go back, mate. I'll deal with it now. Well, the challenge is on the ruling here, mate. It's been ruled on foul play. Jesse, mate, we've got a penalty here.
And that's why Fermor was filthy, because he thought it was a deliberate act by Ramian to flick out that elbow. Just back from a suspension last week, Jesse.
Yeah, I'd like to see it in normal motion. He's battling to get up to play the ball. I thought that was accidental, but anyway, play on.
Maybe the NRL refs have been watching the NBA finals that completed yesterday. It'll be a flagrant one, I think, against Jesse Ramey. There's a bumper bar being used by Fasua Mala'awi to try and hold off Rudolph. Precedent may have been set today on what you can and can't do with those elbows. Here's Wallace, refreshed, ready to go for stint number 2. I'd love a couple more tries like they got from him last time they took on the Sharks. Lasoni, look at all the Cronulla numbers get around the big man. Must be some space now if they go wide. Wallace, pass hits the deck. Brimson played it cleverly, trapped it, and has to burn a play.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're going to give him some ball, make sure it's clean. It's a terrible pass. Brimson had to go back and pick it up.
Wallace getting his hands on it again, flicks it out the back. Lasoni, that pass hits the mark somehow as it got to Isaac Liu, playing really wide. And he'll play it on the last. Sexton. Little kick in behind. Wallace chases. Some kind of take by Nakora. And the lazy high shot from Wallace lets Cronulla out of their own end.
Yeah, Nakora, that was a great take there. Just put himself in the position to take that ball. Sexton again with a grubber kick. Look at that. Lazy arm over the top there from Wallace. I'd love to see him get a try to make a real game of it. The back end here.
Almost tempted Marju into the acrobatics, but the touch finder was solid from Hines inside the final 10 minutes, and hasn't been as flashy as they might have hoped, Cronulla, but they're grinding their way to another success as that tackle almost went past the horizontal, according to the Sharks fans. Rudolph a little shaken up in back play.
I suppose with all the mistakes they made in the first half, the Sharks, they had the game plan to come out here in the second half and just grind away. They really haven't thrown caution to the wind here. They got the first try of the second half, but that's been about it.
Hines. Space in behind Marju. How's the bounce? Brimson tracked down by Katoa. That's perfect execution from Cronulla. Hines again, weighting it to perfection.
Yeah, he got a lovely touch, hasn't he, with his kicking game. We've seen it here. We've seen it all season. He's got plenty of time to put the kick in too. And the bounce. Katoa, good tackle there on Brimson. Got himself back there. This could be the ball game right here.
Looked like he might have shaped to go short. It's tumbling away from Brayley potentially. No damage done. Eight-point lead. Inside 8 minutes to go. Cronulla in a dominant position. Moylan tapped on again. Oh, he missed the mark. Too high for Katoa as Ramian tried to put the winger away for the corner.
Well, the pass was great again here from Kennedy. I think Ramian tried to make it a little bit too difficult here. There's the tap on. I think the ball just slipped out of his hands as he tried to get it in for a conventional pass there.
Closing stages, and Mo Fotuaika about to return for one last charge. Great offload. They're on the outside here. Asako received from Sexton. And Kennedy across to lend a hand to the big winger. Great field position again for the Titans. Fermor. He's lost it again. Beau Fermor has been fumbling right throughout the afternoon.
It's amazing now, the modern game. Just have a look at how important your back five are. The Sharks, back five all run for easily over 100 metres. Been an outstanding performance from them, and especially Talakai in the second half here. 14 runs, really put his hand up.
Hey, Jared. Tino, I'm happy to go through a process, but it's an appropriate way to speak to people, mate. That's not it. Okay, Shorty, captain's challenge, mate, on the decision of high contact from Jared Wallace on the ground.
Man on the ground looked like a swinging arm from Jared Wallace, but he told his captain to challenge.
No good doing that when the fight's nearly over. You should do it when it's on.
Jared Wallace makes contact with
With your
Cam
head.
McInnes's head. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Wow. Jared Wallace, not sure what he did wrong initially, but those replays certainly rammed it home.
Should try and be intimidating in the first 5 minutes of the game. Not at the back end of it.
He'll be a Dolphin next year. With the new Redcliffe side, Jared Wallace involved here. Eventually slowing Hunt down. He was the only Cronulla forward over 100 metres gained today. The back five all over 100 metres for Cronulla. They get through a power of work. Back on the angle, Nakora. Wallace testing the friendship again. Run number 13 from Royce Hunt. Brayley in search of a couple in this second half. McInnes back in that role he used to fulfill as a Dragon. Hines. Wilton, how's his kick? Pretty handy. Is there a way out for Sexton? No, there is not. And he'd already stepped on the line before he copped the treatment.
Talakai tried to put him in row 27. Have a look how hard he comes at him here. There's Wilton with a little grubber kick through. Sexton picks it up, tries to get back. Watch this. Missile.
I think the whistle came just in time to slow Talakai down just before he was about to really lower the boom gate. Almost a situation where you thought the Titans had to go short from the dropout and try and get the ball back, trailing by 8 with 4 to go, but they went long again. McInnes. Moylan. Talakai. And the ball comes loose again. Asako creates the error. His defensive work on the wing. And there's been something to write home about for the Titans.
That's the 14th error. The 15th error there from the Sharks. Talakai, I do like it when he just pins the ears back and takes the defensive line on. And that time loses possession.
Just don't change the position, time will stay on.
21 errors in the game. Far too many.
Don't forget, coming up next on your Super Saturday on Fox League, the Warriors against the Panthers. Penrith must watch TV each and every weekend, the way they go about it. Cleary and Luai pulling the strings.
Can't believe you hadn't asked me for a tip.
Come on, Block, just in case the fans aren't sure. You're talking an upset, are you, Block?
No.
The Warriors got the jump on the Sharks last week. Led 12-0 before Cronulla came storming home. Brimson. Herbert got rid of Moylan. The kick in behind looks heavy. Holding up, is it? And Brimson got there a little too late. He was close though.
He can get across the ground, can't he, Brimson?
Mate, coming up to tackle 5. Got no try. Just confirm AJ knocks on.
Well, did he get there first and knocks the ball
Titans
off?
kick chase,
That's what they're saying.
being onside.
Have a look where Kennedy was caught up in the line. The chase is on.
Just looking to see if AJ Brimson grounds the ball before the goal line.
I think he's bounced it, hasn't he?
AJ Brimson knocks the ball on in the in-goal. We have a decision.
And the kick from Herbert gave him a chance though.
Would have been game on had they been able to do that 20 minutes ago.
Would have been a grandstand finish in the last 2 minutes of this ball game. Would have been back within 4 with the kick to come.
Talakai again, the back end of the field.
Almost reefed away by Aaron Clark, but bobbled and controlled by Talakai. They have another crack at the footy here, but 3 in the tackle. And Marju had to drop off. Ramian got rid of Tanner Boyd. strong bullocking run from Jesse Ramey, and on report for that clash earlier in this half. Moylan weaving a little bit more magic. Matty Moylan. Awkward way. He was dragged down in the end. A little workout for the shoulder. He checks on that, Matty Moylan, as Herbert ragdolled him in the end. Jared Wallace again hanging around in the ruck, causing a few issues for Brayley. Mulatalo in search of a try, knew he was running the risk of an obstruction, so gave himself up. Last chance perhaps for the Sharks to add to their 18 points here. Moylan. Kick off the left boot, travels a little too far. And 1 minute to go in Coffs Harbour. Talking dropout, are they?
Yeah, 18-10. Sometimes you got to grind out a win here for the Sharks. I don't think the coach will be too happy. They've been up here all week promoting the game. And well done.
Now they try the short one. Kelly wasn't too far away from getting there, but Ramey judged it nicely. Chance to boost the for and against here with a late try. McInnes up the middle. Hines slotted an 80th minute field goal last time they met to make it a 7-point margin. Don't need to now as he goes to that shorter side. Oh, what a collision. Teague Wilton, head clash perhaps. And it's still alive here for Hines. Slips catch from Wallace. And here he comes, Beau Fermor. Pass on the outside, picked up stylishly by Marju. Katoa gets there, but Marju says, see you later. And the Titans are going to get one of the great consolation tries. As the siren sounds, it won't be enough. It'll tighten up the scoreboard. Jared Wallace with the flair, 10 out from his own line, creates the 4-pointer.
Yeah, don't worry about the flair. What about the take to start it all off? With Wallace, some good collisions there. They lose the football, and then the flick out the back. What a take there. Wallace flicks the ball out the back. Fermor in open space, gets the ball straight away to Marju. It looks like they're going to make the tackle. As a Katoa just skips away from him, pushes away. Great fend. As you said, consolation try there to the Titans. Not convincing from the Sharks here this afternoon, but they will get the win.
Optimistic Titans fans hoping that it might have been knees in the back there to create the 8-point try potential. Ooh. And we could have gone to golden point, but there was nothing sinister as Marju put it down. And we'll just wait for the conversion to see whether it's a 4-point margin or a 2-point edge at the end of it all. Or maybe the bunker might weigh in and say, hang on a minute, it's not a try after all.
For a possible knock-on from Matt Moylan.
Knock on by Matt Moylan.
Well, cleared all other aspects of the play up to this point.
Do we care if Matt Moylan knocked it on?
Matt Moylan's right hand is behind the ball, which then is propelled towards the goal line, constituting a knock-on. He then regains possession, a nullifying play. We have a decision.
Take the air out of the balloon, the bunker. You got a 95-metre try, a highlight reel for the Titans. They say, no, we've found a knock-on against Matty Moylan, so let's take it away.
Party poopers. How many birthdays did we say with this afternoon?
Wallace going into bat for the opposition, saying that's not a knock-on. Moylan was facing the other way. It was a knock-back. You've taken away one of the great try creations from Jared Wallace. In the end, final scoreline is not what we anticipated. It's Cronulla 18, the Gold Coast Titans 10. A bit of a head-scratcher in Coffs Harbour.